The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Phixated Podcast. I am your host, Mike Azzalina, and I'm coming to you live from Akron, Ohio, at the lovely Hampton Inn Suites. And I think it's Green. I think it's the Village of Green or something like that I stay in. And I'm joined by my buddy Regzy Boo. Regz, happy belated Thanksgiving, my friend.
Same to you. Hope it was good. Hope everyone's doing well. It was the first time in a while we haven't hosted, so it was much easier than the past, probably 5-6 years we've been hosting.
Nice.
So I just got to go somewhere else and put my feet up and watch football and eat and hang out, and it was good. It was good.
That's awesome.
Not be stressed out about all the timing of the food and everything else, but it was good. How about yours?
Listen, man, can't complain. It was great. Got to hang out with family, see people that I don't always get to see. My cousin was in from Florida, so that was cool to see him and hang out with him. And yeah, really was just nice to just be with family as always. Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday. It was a little tough this year without my father-in-law. Made it a little more difficult, of course, but you just find ways to be thankful and be with family. So really did enjoy it. Always do. Big turkey guy. Can't change my mind. Big stuffing guy. Can't change my mind. So no, it was good, man. It was a lot of fun, and certainly a time of year that I always look forward to. And I immediately put up the lights for Christmas, which I don't typically do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, ours just went up a few days ago. I took Wednesday off, and I have Thursday, so I had 5 days off in a row, which was nice.
Okay.
So nice. They went up over the weekend. We're at the point with my boys where they don't want to do anything besides watch TV and play video games. So when Angela tries to wrangle them to help put the tree together or whatever it is that isn't doing one of those two things, it's just like a nightmare.
Yeah.
I keep trying to tell her, I was like, this is just the point in our lives where this is going to be how this is. I'm not condoning it, but just you don't have 3 little girls who are going to want to put the lights on and the ornaments up, and be smiling the whole way. We're gonna have to convince them a little bit to help us out, and they might be, smiling through gritted teeth and complaining up until the point that we have to yell at them to shut up and just do what we tell them. One day we'll move past it, and they'll be happy to help their mother put up the tree and ornaments and all those things.
Our tree will go up this weekend, but since I was traveling this week, I was like, man, if I don't put them up now, when am I putting up these lights?
Yeah.
And then they're going to be up the week before Christmas and come down the week after. So I went out on Saturday morning and just put it. It's honestly, Regs, I've gotten smart over the course of time since we've bought this house. Initially, I would take all the hooks off at the end and never thought, man, if you just left this on, how much easier would it be to just rip these out and just hook them back into the gutters in future years. And keep it put a label on which of these strands goes on this bush and this bush, so you're not figuring it out every year. I finished putting up our row of lights on the house and all of the bushes in the front. That we don't do a ton, so it's whatever, but what used to be 2.5 hours to get through took me all of, hour 15 minutes, which was it was so efficient and fast.
Look at us growing up. Look at us.
You figure it out, man. little, Jimmy and Johnny homemaker over here. That's what we are.
We luckily don't do any lights outside. Like Angela likes her likes trees, and they come like pre-lit. So we have some of those on the porch and like next to the door that has like a glass panel, so it can be seen from the outside. And she likes her candles in the window.
Yep. Yep.
But
Andrea does too. We haven't done ours. We need the last few years we've gotten pretty lazy about that because of like if one doesn't work, we're like, oh well, we can't, do the like buy a replacement bulb. Stop being lazy. Like, what are we doing here?
yeah. So luckily I don't have to do anything to the house. She's not too
Okay.
big on like putting anything on the house, which
Yeah.
would be an endeavor.
yeah, it
I
would be
don't
for you.
I don't
Yeah.
I wouldn't enjoy
We
that.
just do, like you've been to our house. We just do the level right above the garage.
Yeah. That makes perfect
So,
sense.
I don't go on like the second level
Yeah.
of the roof. Honestly, putting me on the second level, you're asking for it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
That's asking for something bad to happen.
Exactly.
I am not meant for the second level.
I also don't want to pay someone to do it. So I would try and do it and hurt myself somehow.
That's what I mean.
And then I'd have to end up paying for it.
Yeah, my history does not bode well in that scenario. Like in the least. It would not be good. Hey man, lots to talk about tonight. Lots to talk about. We will get into the holiday spirit. I got some games coming around the corner that I've been thinking about doing on the show for the holidays and things like that. But I do believe that we have just so much actual sports talk happening in Philly right now that we don't have time for games. I sound like, old man on the front porch yelling at clouds. Like, we don't got time for games, Regs. We got to talk about the serious stuff that's happening because we got a football team who is forcing me not to watch. They are making the choice for me that I'm not going to watch. Yeah. And a baseball team in the midst of my least favorite part of the season, right? And I'm not really that interested in talking about the basketball team aside from I think I'm finally with you in the Joel Embiid. Like, I'm kind of done at this point.
Wow. Come, my son, come.
Let me start there. We won't. And look, I mean this. We're not spending more than it is 9:14. We will be done with this conversation at 9:20.
All right.
Because we got to get to the Phillies, and we definitely have to get. Here's my. I'm gonna say all these things. I want to thank Joel Embiid. He's probably the second best Sixer in my lifetime. I still think Allen is always going to be the guy in my lifetime. Like AI, he passed. So I want to thank him for that. Dude, probably one of the most talented Sixers in my lifetime, one or two. For playing hurt, playing through injury, playing through pain. I know he didn't win, right? But we're at a point now where it's like we don't know when he's playing, when he's not playing. He says he's going to play, then he's not going to play. He's out, then he's questionable, then he's out again. Out, then he's questionable, then he's playing, and then he's not playing the next night. So, we're not sure if that's happening. I'm just kind of like ready to just give the keys to the car to Tyrese Maxey and be done with this whole thing. Not that they would still need another piece with Tyrese. Like, he is clearly doing everything in his power to win games right now. They just don't have enough around him. And that's okay. They would have the first building block. And they've got other nice supporting pieces in tow with him. They would just need the other star. So it's just not going to work. They're not going to win. And so I'm done. All right, I'm leaving 5 minutes. There you go. I don't know how much more you have to say, but I'm leaving 5 minutes of space for you.
I don't think I won't need it all. I mean, we've discussed this enough about Embiid, and especially with where he is now with these injuries that keep popping up, and just like, Bill Simmons always talks about on his podcast, talking about guys over 7 feet tall and how like there's no precedent for these guys staying healthy for a long time. Like, they're just too big basketball's too quick and too, the movement and the athleticism that it takes. And guys that size, just their lower bodies don't hold up. Or it's their lower body or their back or their whatever. So it's just one of those things. We all knew it was going to happen. I think it's just time. I don't think we need the whole in, out, questionable, whatever. Like, just, we're going to see if he plays or not. Let's stop, like, the sort of charade of seeing if he's going to play or everyone being too worried about it. We're not worried about it anymore. Let's all just move on and worry about the dudes that are out there. And if he plays, great. If he doesn't, great. Yeah. And that's where we just have to be now.
Yep. That's it. That's our Sixers talk for tonight. Also, Tyrese Maxey is off.
He's been unbelievable. Like, not just awesome. Yeah. He's been unreal.
I think that's important to say. While we're here, we still have 3 minutes of cushion on the Sixers. I think it is important to say Tyrese Maxey he's the real deal. When we say, AI's 1 and Joel's been 2, there's a real chance that Tyrese's going to be in that conversation for like generational Sixer. He just gets better, and eventually he's going to start getting that whistle too, which is going to be enormous. So I'm curious as to what happens here in the coming years with how they structure the roster around him, because I think that the Sixers are going to make the move when it comes down to it with with Joel. If not this deadline, then in the off season.
Yeah.
But it's important to say, Tyrese, we love you.
Yeah.
We're
McCain's starting to get his feet wet, get his feet back.
Yeah,
DJ, I think, is still playing well. God, that guy plays hard, and I love it. I love it.
They and Watford, when healthy, that's a nice little find. So they have they have nice young pieces. They're just gonna need the second guy to push this along and be the second guy for Tyrese. And so who that is, I don't know. I'm not paid to do that. So we'll see what happens. But I like the foundation that they have if they choose to go that route. It's okay to count your losses and move along. You've given this enough time. It's not going to work at this point.
Yep. That's where we're at.
All right. Let's talk about the baseball team. Not a ton of new. We're at that point in the off season that I complain about pretty much every year. It is my favorite sport, but my least favorite off season.
Which I don't really understand. I might never understand it, but
yeah. Well, I think Regz, what it comes down to is a sport without a salary cap. These guys can sit around as long as they want.
Yep.
There's no pressure. Like there's no pressure. And at some point, baseball might have to do something because the system doesn't allow for the off season to have any intrigue. It's like, well, free agents can sign. It's November 7th or whatever it is, and then we're sitting here on December 2nd.
Yeah,
it's a full month.
Right.
It's a full month.
And there's been like 3 people.
Who's the biggest name off the board? Devin Williams?
Yeah, Cease maybe. You could, it's those Cease, two. It's those two probably.
I mean, but like, what are we talking about? It's ridiculous. It's just so slow and pointless.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why they can't fix that or put some sort of, deadline on certain things. I don't know. I feel like they've got to figure because it really is difficult to follow every single year. We got guys that don't sign until like
yeah, right.
So it's it's useless. It's a useless offseason and just no intrigue whatsoever. All of a sudden you see like and you're like, oh man, there it is.
I know. Every time I see passing up on my timeline, I'm like, something, please.
Something, yeah. And then he's like, the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. Well, I don't care. Although I do care a lot about it right now. We'll get to that. Something I want to talk about. But with the Phillies, let's start with non-Phillies stuff, and let that be that Devin Williams signed a 3-year, $45 million deal. Really 50, but 5 of that is deferred out. So this is a second relief pitcher deal that I am grateful the Phillies didn't touch. He's 31 years old. Wasn't really great last year with the other New York team. And I don't see $15 million a year. This also to me signals Edwin Diaz is going elsewhere. I know that it feels like the Mets have endless money. I get that. I like you know what that the guy that owns them is worth like $500 billion or something. But they just have so many needs. Like they don't have a center fielder.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a left fielder. They don't have a third baseman. Don't get me started. No, Vientos doesn't count. They don't have a first baseman. I truly couldn't tell you a single pitcher in their rotation. So, are they going to throw 5 years, $20 million a year at Edwin Diaz and have a guy pitching the eighth inning at $15 million also? Like $35 million for two relief pitchers would be diabolical stuff. That would be so diabolical. I wouldn't be able to like focus my attention on anything else. So once again, the relief market is just saturated, and the Phillies might be best served to trade Matt Strahm $7.5 million and bargain shop for like two guys at like.
Yeah, I mean Helsley also, got more than I think we both thought he
would
or
you know
should.
What the money was? Did we ever find that out?
Yeah, I think it was 2 for 14, right? Wasn't it 2 at 14 apiece?
Oh, so it's 2 for 28.
Yeah, I think, or something around there
from the Orioles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big no for me too. I think of the three that have signed, it's funny that I'm going to say this because Helsley was by far the worst in the second half, but he's probably the one that I would be most willing to give that number to. And I was out here saying $5-6.
I know. That's what I was about to say. That's what's funny about it.
Incentive raises.
Yeah.
Like room for a roof, but like, you're talking about a dude who, it was really good in the first half and not so good in the second half. Whereas the other two guys, I just feel like they were only good for like a snippet here and there. So that was confusing to me. I also think he's of the three. I'd have to look at that. Maybe Williams is younger, but I'm not sure. I'd have to look. So yeah, the bullpen market is very confusing to me now, and I was hoping the Phillies would be able to like sneak someone out, but I don't know that they're gonna be.
Yeah. Well, and then if you think you're giving those guys that much money, like how much are you truly get? Like how like Edwin Diaz is going to be looking for 19.
Oh yeah,
like he's been. I know we hate him, but he's been way better than those guys.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
so, what he's going to want 20?
Yeah, the Dodgers will give it to him.
And who's the only guy like Hader's making what? Is Hader making that much? Did he get that much from?
I don't think he's making 20.
But still, like that's what we're talking about. Like that's just crazy. Even for as good as Edwin Diaz is, like that's nuts.
Right.
That's nuts.
Right. It is. It is wild. It is wild.
So
I'm not quite sure.
I think the Phillies are gonna. It's obviously a need that they have.
Right.
As everyone has said, like we have to see where what happens with Schwarber and Real Muto to see sort of where they can go with this, because I think it's clearly the third thing they're going to try and do, unless something fell into their lap that you sort of couldn't.
I mean,
but I don't know.
Maybe.
Like, but who else is out there that you think would be any kind of splash bullpen guy?
I love Pete Fairbanks.
Okay, but at this point, he's going to 12?
He's probably going to be closer to the 15. But if it's 2 for 30, I'm not opposed to it.
Okay.
I'm not. I think he's that good. But I hear you. I totally. But what I would say is, thinking back to the interview that I heard with Preston Magley and High Hopes, he was very like explicit in saying that one of their goals is to lengthen the bullpen.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's great. Good point.
They do want to lengthen the bullpen. So I don't know that I hear that priority 1 and 1A is JT and Kyle. So I do agree.
And
with
I
you,
think
but
I think
this
that's more
is-
from a money standpoint, maybe not necessarily from a sort of team importance standpoint, you know? Like
Yeah.
I think it's just from a money standpoint. They got to know where they're at. And if you I'm sure they've done all of this, right? We're saying this like I'm sure they haven't calculated this, but or figured this out, you know, shocking that you and I are breaking this down, you know, for everybody. But I have to imagine it makes a difference if you go out and do sign Fairbanks to that. Now it's like, well, okay, well, we had these 3 other things. Maybe we can still do the Schwarber, but does that mean JT is only 12 now instead of 15? Does that mean that, oh, that other outfielder that maybe we were looking at, given 10 or 11, now we only have 9 for that guy. And that makes a difference. It makes a difference.
Yeah, and when you look at some of the, you know, the guys that were non-tendered, while we want some of the big names, and we talked about some of the big name trades that could get you some of the guys like Buxton, you know, who's the other outfielder?
Adele, right?
We talked about him.
Talked about him.
There's somebody. Oh, not Marte.
Oh,
those
yeah.
Those types of names still are out there, and I know the Phillies have checked in. Obviously, they do their due diligence on everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder what their interest in like Adolis Garcia, who we talked about it trade deadline this year, as a guy who comes a little cheaper, might save you a little money there, and hopefully he can find a little bit of a spark. And Philly's a very good defender. You're not going to lose anything defensively. You gain with him defensively, but I think the bat is really the question. Is he a guy who can come in and hit 25 home runs, or is he a guy who's gonna struggle again this year the way he did last year? But that's a name that you could go a little cheaper, maybe more of a Max Kepler-ish deal.
I think the gesture you just made is like the perfect thing. Like if you're getting to this point with some bullpen help, then when you start to look at those other things that you might have had a little bit, maybe you could offer a guy $1 million more than another team was going to do, right? Or something like that. But now you're in the like you went like this. You were like that. You're in the guy, you know, instead of maybe being in the guy. You're in the and it's just it is what it is. And you're gonna like they'll do, you know, hopefully do a better job than Jordan Romano and Max Kepler, but who the hell knows? If you're in those waters, like who the hell knows? Then you're just like you said, you're taking a shot. And obviously he was great when they won the World Series. He's kind of fallen off since then. And you're taking another shot at somebody and hoping they kind of bounce back. But yeah, you quickly get into that. All right. Yeah. You know, there's a couple things that are good. And then there's the, gosh, I really hope he comes back from this or bounces back from being terrible or whatever else it is.
That's it, right? That's it. Because to me, Garcia is an addition. He's not the addition, right?
Yeah.
He is in addition to, not the addition. So he would come along with one of those trades.
Right. Sure.
Or I think for me at this point, I'd almost prefer bringing Marte in, re-signing Bader, having a platoon in left field with Marsh and Refsnyder, and signing. I think to me that is, and bringing back that to me is an offseason that improves the team in a variety of ways. It makes them right-handed, they're balanced. I see that as a team that is very different in a lot of ways, right? You know, you're looking at a lineup that's Turner, Schwarber, Harper. If you want to hit Marte cleanup, you can. Hit Garcia cleanup, you can, and hit Kyle behind. You can do it a variety of right, behind Garcia. And then Bader's hitting like 6th, with Marsh and Refsnyder hitting 7th. And Otto Kemp's hitting 9th, playing third base. Like that to me, there's enough change there, right? To at least make you feel like they're not running back. Yeah. They've got some core pieces there. They've added 3 different pieces, and now you've got like Bader and Kemp as energy guys. You know, Marte can play with him. Garcia definitely plays with him. So there are ways to do this that I think, you know, and probably ways we haven't even.
Yeah.
And maybe you use, you know, Bohm in, you know, I read today, Passan said he's probably the most likely Philly to be dealt this offseason, and or one of the Phillies most likely to be dealt. Maybe use him to grab an arm, you know, a reliever that can help you in that spot. Let's quickly turn to the JT and Kyle thing. All signs point to JT coming back. Sounds like there's, you know, that his market is 2 years, and that's just where he's going to be. I think that's a perfect fit for the Phillies. And if they can make that number somewhere from like 10 to 13 a year, like if he's willing to do that, Regz, what a bargain it would be. And I'll tell you, I do believe JT's the type of guy that would come and say, I've made my money.
I think at this point, yes.
Let's win, right? Like, let's win. And it would help the team if that $3 million can go a long way toward another. And I know JT knows that. And I think I'm hoping that they can get something done where it's, you know, 2 for like 24 and they can save that $3 million. The Kyle thing, to me, a little bit different. And not that I'm saying they won't get him. I still think that they're the odds-on favorite for him to come back.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, you texted me yesterday that they're, you know, you sent the text of, you know, that the Phillies and Kyle Schwarber are not close. Which at this point in the year, when you're the best hitter on the market, that's not shocking.
Yeah. And I don't think Passan was putting it out there as like this weird thing. He's just like, this is just what I'm hearing of where they're at.
And that probably means that no one's close with Kyle.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You know, I think that means no one's close because
he's not close to making a decision, no matter what anybody has said. He's just not.
He by all signs point to him wanting to be done with this before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wants to be done with this before Christmas. So we are 23 days from that.
Yeah.
It doesn't leave a lot of time to find out you're not close. That being said, all it takes is one phone call and you're close. And with Kyle's the type of person that he's going to listen to his agent. I think it's Casey Close. I could be wrong with that, but I think it's Casey.
I don't remember.
And they might be looking into like, all right, what is the most we can get outside of Philly?
Yeah.
And I don't know that the number is what they're looking for. And the Phillies are going to sit back and they're going to until, you know, the market plays out the way that they want it to. And if it doesn't, and Kyle is going to be committed to a number, they have a choice. They can commit to that number, or they can walk and turn their attention to someone who plays the field.
Yeah.
And, you know, and rakes and has a very good approach and is righty, which they could really use.
Yeah, because I think the other elephant in the room with the Kyle stuff is like Bryce is one weird injury away from needing to be your DH.
Yeah.
Like he's not at the point where this is like 5 years away. We're like 2 to 3 years at most.
Yeah.
Until Bryce is a DH all the time. I know the first base thing hopefully helps, but like, let's be serious here. He's one weird wrist thing or back injury away from needing to be your DH all the time. And if you have Kyle at that number, you're in a really weird spot.
Right. It's a good point. It's not one that I've thought about, considered, and I'm sure the Phillies are considering that as well. And I do believe that the Phillies Would love to do something in the 4-year range if
Yeah.
they could get that done. I think that they believe they have 4 years of Bryce at first base before they have to make
Yeah.
that decision. It's a really, really valid point, though, that there, this happened a couple of years ago where
Right.
Bryce had to DH and Kyle was in left field.
Yeah.
And that was not fun.
No.
And this would be Kyle 3 years older.
Right. I'm certainly not. And again, Kyle's done some things where he looks a little healthier and all that, but that also has to be a part of he's not in the field all the time. So he's not getting beat up. And again, I am not trying to speak this into fruition, right? I'm not trying to speak this, but it has to be something you consider. It just has to be when you're talking about this. And I have to imagine that it puts the Phillies at like you said, at a point where they're just they just aren't going to be able to go to a certain number of years is my guessing. I'm not sure about the money part, but the years has got to be on their mind because of just that very point.
Absolutely. I just wish he would do something like in the 4 for 100 range.
I know.
That is the dream. I know that he feels like that, he deserves more. And I know that his leadership commands some money that like you can't really define. However, there is a part of me that is like, you're not going to hit 58 again.
He might not hit 50 ever again, for all we know.
We're paying for this year plus his leadership. That's what we're paying for. And I love Kyle. I've said this a million times that like he and Zach Wheeler are the two jerseys that I will buy in this group of Phillies. Like they are the two that they're the first two that I will buy since Roy Halladay. If Kyle resigns, I'm buying it. Plain and simple. I just want that money to be like 4 for 100. And I know I'm being super greedy, super selfish. But a world where the Phillies bring back Kyle at 4 for 100 and JT at 2 for like 24 is a world I want to live in. It's a world I want to live in.
I bet so does Dave Dombrowski and John Middleton and Preston Mattingly.
Right. Imagine paying Kyle Schwarber and JT Realmuto 32 this year.
Yeah.
What difference that would make to put a roster on the field that changes everything. You dump the Nick stuff and then after 27, Zach's 43 comes off. You're in some spot financially.
Yeah.
Because JT's off the books at that point too. And honestly, like, 2 years with JT, 2 more years with Zach, you're resetting a little bit there.
Yeah,
and I think
for sure.
That's super fair. So we'll see. I do have one. Anything else you want?
No.
Keep you posted as things happen. I have one more thing I want to talk about with the film.
Let's do it.
His name is Francisco Renteria. And I need everybody to know about it. He's the Phillies' top international signee in the 26 class. He's like the 3rd best prospect internationally. No relation to Edgar, everybody. Let's just get that out there. But this guy came across, my feed a few months ago when they were talking about signing him and, how he's been one of the most renowned players for a long time now. I didn't know much about him. I looked up like his numbers, like that scale, the 20 to 100 scale there, or 20 to 80 scale that
Yeah.
Holy moly. He rates below a 60 in nothing.
All right.
He is criminally their best international prospect in years. Riggs, how nice would it be to have our own like Soto or Acuna?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it would just be so nice. And I sent you the video of him in the Venezuelan home run derby.
Mm-hmm.
I sent that to you last night. And he hit 18 home runs in the derby. He beat Salvador Perez.
Yeah.
And I said to you, just Regs, I don't care about the number or the tweet. Just go watch the video of the swing. What, like, that swing that's not the swing of a 17-year-old kid.
No.
It is, the plane of that swing is so perfect that it looks like Ronald Acuna. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
I need it. Get him here. He's a center fielder.
Okay.
Elite athleticism. He actually long-term profiles as a center fielder.
Wow. All right.
So
That's a big deal.
yes, please. And he's the type of kid that I feel like with that swing and his already like pronounced defense, he might get here young. You know, he's in this class. He'll sign in January. It might be February. I don't remember when signing day actually, like when that international signing day is.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact
But
date
he'll
either.
he'll sign and he'll be here for the 2020 minor league season. I don't know where he'll go out the gate. Like I'm not sure where he'll be, but it's gonna be somewhere where he's gonna get a lot of time and experience. So, I mean, let's just get him here. Maybe he can just play opening day.
Let's just do it.
Forget about signing.
We need a center fielder, right?
Bring the 17-year-old. He turned 17 on January 9th.
Yeah, let's do it.
I said to you last night that kid looks like he's 26.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
Goodness. Gosh, I think he's got more facial hair than I do.
It's very funny.
Unbelievable. So if you haven't and you're interested, shoot me a DM on social media or text me, and I'll send you the link of the video, and you can see for yourself the kid's. It is.
I'm excited to keep my ear out for him now.
Yeah, that bat does not waste contact. It is special. Okay. Regs, do we have to?
Yes, we do. Can't call ourselves a Philly sports podcast and not get into it.
Well, do we start with the 21-point blown lead, or do we talk about the absolute abomination of a performance on Black Friday?
I think we need to I think we need to wrap them all together and just go right into what is happening.
Okay.
First of all, whoever egged Patulo's house, you are an asshole of the highest order, and I hope you get caught and go to jail.
I do too. That's not okay. I'm the first to shred him on here. I'm the first to shred him on social media. But that is never okay. That is never okay. Leave him alone. Boo him all you want.
Yeah.
Put your signs up outside of the facility. You know, do the sign in construction. Whatever these things that you're doing are, fine. But like, don't go to the man's house and throw things at his home.
Yeah.
His family is in there. His children are in there. His wife is in there.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that out the gate, Ray. Like,
I hope next time you get shot in the leg. Shows what you deserve.
It is just ridiculous and unacceptable, and it's why we get the reputation we get as a fan. Like, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
So, okay. That being said, do you want to start with the offense? I feel like let's start with.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Oh gosh, where? It is the worst offense in the last 20 years. And that's not me just saying it. That's actually fact. By success rate, it is the worst offense that the Eagles have had in 20 years. There have only been two offenses in the last 20 years in Philadelphia that have ranked close to where this offense is. Just, I think, some more context here that I'd love to share with you. I saw it in a tweet today. I want to make sure I get the person who tweeted it correct. So just bear with me while I pull it up. It was Thomas Peterson. Maybe you saw this. The Eagles offense is highest in hitch route rate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Highest in hitch route rate. The most basic of route concepts in the route tree. Okay. Lowest in cross route rate. Bottom 5 in pre-snap motion. Bottom 2 in play action. And A.J. Brown lines up in the slot less than any other wide receiver in the NFL. There's many things wrong. And I don't think I could rank them if you asked me to. we saw what pre-snap motion can do when it's used effectively against the Bears. My goodness, watching those two offenses, watching the Bears offense, even with the fact that they can't really throw the ball, Caleb Williams is not, he's fine,
Right.
but he was not good in this game.
Yeah.
But watching the way that they use motion, move eyes, to move bodies just enough to catch defenses in just that split second of confusion, and then watching us just put a guy in motion to put a guy in motion.
Yeah.
It's like watching like a 1994 Tecmo Bowl game and whatever NBA Jam Street, NFL Street is, right? Like it's two different versions of sport.
Yeah.
And I think this defines where the Eagles are at. Everything's so vanilla. Everything's so vanilla. And to me, it falls back on the head coach. I finally landed on what this is. I do believe it's Nick. I believe that Nick is at the head of all of it. You know, people want to blame Jalen, that Jalen wants this and Jalen wants that. There is one thing Jalen Hurts wants more than anything, and that's to win basketball or win football games, right? So if you're going to ask Jalen Hurts to do something because it's going to help your team win, he's going to do it. That to me is the most basic and obvious thing about this Eagles football team that there is. This week, Nick said that he's not changing play callers, but they're looking at changes to this. And I believe after the Bears game that Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman approached him, and he was given the option.
Yeah.
This is totally my perspective. By no means am I reporting anything or saying that this for a fact. It is just what I know about this, the way that this team is run. That Jeffrey Lurie is his hands in it. I think they said to Nick, look, you can either keep your best friend play caller or your scheme or your job.
Yeah, right.
You get two of those three things. You don't get all three, right? And we know what you want to keep your job. So which of the other two is it? Which of the other two are you deciding to take, and which one are you leaving?
Yeah.
And I think Nick is ready to leave his scheme.
But to that point, at this point, do we think there's anyone in that building who knows how to put a scheme together that will work? How could it be possible that at this point, none of that, you think it's all just like, it's all hit that Nick wall? Any suggestions or anything is just like, it's gotten to him and it's been like, nope, this is what we're doing.
Regz, I'll be honest with you, man. I just think at this point, I know you're saying, like, does anybody have the ability to put a scheme together? I don't even, Regz, it doesn't have to be this, like, a lot.
Oh, I'm not talking about, like, a Ben Johnson, Sean McVay, like Kyle Shanahan. Like, I'm not talking about the Wizards. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about a competent NFL. Yeah. We would take 15th to 12th at this point.
You just got to run some crossing routes. You've just got to run some more play action. Use AJ Brown in matchups that he's going to be advantageous in.
And I sent you that one video that Fran put together about the timing of like Jalen's dropbacks to the timing of the routes. And he used other teams' examples of how plays are put together to make sure the timing of the quarterback matches the timing of the routes that are being run.
Yeah.
And it like, how is that stuff wrong?
Yeah. Well, I think, that was, and watching that video, it's clear, and Kurt Warner said it, and Dan Orlovsky said it on NFL Today, that play is a choice route. So Devontae has the choice of an out, a stop, like a hitch, or a slant. And they just weren't on the same page. And I don't know why that is. Like, that is not something that we'll ever know. Jalen clearly thought he was going to stop, that he was going to settle into the zone. Devontae ran like the slant post, whatever he was running there. They just missed. I think what kind of drives me nuts about that play is the amount of people who are like, oh, he missed Dallas Goedert wide open. No, he didn't miss Dallas Goedert wide open. Devontae Smith was wide open. Like, Devontae was also wide open. They just miscommunicated and didn't complete the pass. And honestly, Regz, Jalen completes that pass way more often than he doesn't. Like, that was just such a bad situation on top of a bad situation. Like, it was the cherry on top of what has been this offense.
Yeah.
And so, yes. Now, I'm sorry, you were talking about a totally different thing, and I went to the.
But it speaks to the miscommunication and like the things that are wrong. Like even if even if the timing at this point, I'm not like that's going to happen. Look, miscommunications are going to happen.
Yeah.
It happens in a football game. That I get it. And you're right. Fran's video was more to like, we know Devontae is running this deep cross. And by the time Jalen gets to the top of his drop back, Devontae isn't 7 yards from turning inside yet.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's not how this should work. He's like, I've watched enough, like a lot of these plays. And the way, like, you have to do something to allow your quarterback, right?
Yeah.
The play has to call for the quarterback reaching the top of his drop while that guy is cutting across the field.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sure he had more examples, but this was a very clear one that he could point to. But it's like, if that stuff isn't even right, and at this point, we know the offensive line isn't playing great, and we know the run game isn't good, and like, let's just be honest. Jalen Hurts has some awesome qualities.
Yeah.
He will do anything to win. He is willing to do all those things. He's willing to take the blame for a lot of things. And in the biggest games of his life and our lives with this team, he has stepped up. I take nothing away from that man in any of those categories whatsoever. But where he falls short, like, he's not Justin Herbert, who can just sit back there and sling the ball around wherever he wants to, because he's got some quarterback traits, right? Jalen has a lot of great traits, and the man has won us a Super Bowl. I am not taking anything away from him or that fact, but he's not a guy that's going to, like, at this point, he can't make up for all those things. He can't make up for it. He has to he just can't. He's not that type of quarterback. And that's okay. He's won us a Super Bowl. I'm not like, he obviously has some really great qualities. Exactly.
He's right there with the GOAT.
And he's played as well as he possibly can in the biggest games, right, of our lives with him. But he needs a running game to work. He needs things to and everyone needs the offense to run well, right, and have good schemes and all those things. But again, he's not like, there's a difference between what Matt Stafford does or Herbert does when they can fit it in like a window the size of the size of somebody's arm, and will just sit back there and just be like, sling, right? Sling. It's not Jalen. And he has other great qualities. He has other abilities that help you win. But that's not it. So if this stuff is going wrong, guys aren't as open as maybe they should be, there's not a scheme that generates lots of separation, Jalen has to be perfect all the time. And it's hard when your offensive line isn't working, isn't playing that well, when you don't have a run game, and your scheme is set up that he's not reaching the top of his drop back when guys should be open. So there's just so many things going on that it doesn't allow anybody to play at their best at this point. And the only thing that can change is that things have to be set up to allow people to succeed. Like, they have to be set up to allow people to succeed. And we've seen that it's not impossible in the NFL. Like, teams scheme guys open all the time.
Yeah, it's what's baffling about this.
Exactly. That's what will never make any sense.
back to I just want to hit on some of your points. I think first and foremost that the need. I think a lot of quarterbacks. There might be like, I don't know, two guys who don't need all of those things. Like I hear what you're saying, Jalen. We've admitted that many times. I don't put him up there with the names that most people put him up there. But I think a lot of the things that you're saying, basic needs of a quarterback, like you do need the line to function. You do need some semblance of a running game. You're not going to throw the ball 50 times and be a winning team. It's
right.
Just,
and
there's not enough examples of that to be true. Right. So, you do need look at Jared Goff against us this year. Like Jared Goff, like look at that team. They're not very good. Like Dan Campbell started calling plays and they don't win. So like, and they've looked bad. They haven't even looked like a functioning football.
And I'm not trying to only single Jalen out as like the only quarterback in the world that.
Right. I think it is the most microscopic position on the planet, and it's easy to point at Jalen. Like it's easy to point at Tulo. I think there's a lot. Like I think it's Nick's scheme, it's Jalen's limitations, it's Kevin's inability to call an entire football game.
Yeah.
And do it in a way that is functional, and it's systematic, and there's like a linear nature to the way that there's no rhyme or reason to the way that he calls a football game. Nothing builds on anything. It's all in isolation. It's vanilla, and teams just like the Cowboys, for example, they were just destroying Dallas early on the slant flats. They were able to get linebackers spreading out on flats, and they were hitting AJ on the first three possessions. It was working like flawlessly, and then Dallas started saying, "All right, fine, we're gonna play the plan, and we're gonna give you the flat. We'll get out there and make plays." They never adjusted.
Yeah.
Like Patullo never adjusted play calling. He never made any adjustment to that whatsoever. And so from a play calling perspective, that is solely on him. And the run game against Chicago, they get 5 yards on the first carry, and then the next drive 5 yards on the first carry, and then it just went away. It just went away, and I don't know who's in charge of snaps and all this stuff. Where has Tank Bigsby been? This dude looked explosive, and for 2 weeks he's one carry. He hasn't even seen the field. I don't know who makes these decisions.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know where they're coming from. But like, what is it that we're doing right now? Because it's every single year. This is not new. This is not new. The last year that this offense functioned fully was 2022.
Yeah.
The year that Jalen nearly won the MVP. 22-23. They went to the Super Bowl. They lost. But that year, we all felt so good. Then Shane Steichen left, and we had to start all over again. And it was Nick's hire. Now, last year with Kellen, the passing game was not. If it weren't for Saquon and him busting, how many big runs late in games, we might have been having the same conversation.
Yeah.
Saquon put up a lot of stuff last year.
Yes, he did.
But there was at least some, I never worried about Kellen's play calling. Like, it was never play calling to me. It was scheme.
Yeah.
Like, Kellen called the right plays at the right times. And he was able to build on things. There was a reason Saquon broke teams' backs late in games, because there was a build up to these plays.
Yeah.
He ran something earlier in the game that allowed them to break a team's back. Kevin Patullo has no idea how to call.
Yeah.
And it is just killing this football team. It is killing them. Offensively, they're just, and you can tell that the team doesn't trust him.
Yeah.
I've not seen Jalen Hurts' body language this bad since the end of the 2020. He's got such bad body language. I'm not condoning. He's a leader on this team.
Yeah.
But it is very clear he does not trust play call.
I don't think any of them do.
No, and that's a big problem.
Yeah.
And so, that leads me to this, and then we'll talk about the defense just briefly before we wrap up. I don't know what's going to happen on Monday. I've been saying I'm not going to watch. Clearly, I'm going to watch. I have no other option in my life. Like, I'm going to watch. And so, look, I would put a lot down on Monday. I just feel like it's a game that they've won in the Sirianni coaching tenure.
Yeah.
I still think they're going to get in the playoffs. I think they're going to win the division, maybe barely, but I think they're going to win the division. It'll be nice if Dallas would lose a game on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then they could win, and then it's like, numbers 2. Can you win 2 games here?
Right.
4 guys, like you got the Raiders and the Commanders twice.
Yeah.
Win 2 games.
Yeah.
Are they going to be the 1 seed? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. And so let's say they get into the playoffs. Let's say they win the wild card round and then lose in the division. And it was like this meltdown that just never really fully came back. You never felt like things changed. Are we at a point, and I heard this question posed, and I forget where, I listen to a lot of things. Are we at a point where we have to choose between one and Sirianni? And I know it's dramatic, but I don't know. Like,
I think it's difficult to answer that because I think
the marriage doesn't work, Regz. It doesn't work.
But I think there's a real chance that if you, I think the like you said, what we've seen work is someone who can come in and really take over the offense.
Okay.
And I think that's where Steichen got to. Yeah. I do.
Okay.
I think Kellen, like you said, had a little more experience in, gravitas, and I don't think he fully took it over like Shane did. But I think he, like you said, he had the confidence and like the ability to call the plays and sequence and all those things. And it's difficult to say without knowing who might be available. And I know, like, I'm talking about finding that person.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not saying there's not going to be 15 of them. I understand, that's not what I'm talking about. But will there be somebody out there who Lori and Howie will decide this is your offense? Man, Nick is truly back to just Mr. CEO head coach. This is not Nick's scheme. This is not.
Yeah.
Right.
This is somebody else's offense.
This is the Vic Fangio of our offense that we found.
Yeah. Yeah. That might be the next move.
And I think if that doesn't happen, I think Nick goes before Jalen.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. What would you think? And we need to get off of this because I'm going so far down a rabbit. But what if Dougie Doug came back as the OC?
Has Doug proven to be able to do it anymore?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he did call plays for Jalen.
Yeah, I meant like he was like I know he was. Jacksonville wasn't great.
Yeah, but he was also the head coach. I don't know. I that is a name that's gotten thrown around. Obviously, Brian Dable's gotten thrown around. If he doesn't get a college head coach, he's got the history with Jalen. There's definitely guys, but I think they're going to want it to be a guy who's going to be around and has a scheme, and it is something that will work with Jalen, period.
Yeah.
And something that Jalen can settle into and have. I do agree with you, though, that I think it would be Nick before Jalen. It's really hard to sell off your Super Bowl MVP. Although, there are definitely people in that building, and again, this is my perception, not a report or just an opinion. To me, there are people in that building that would love to see this offense with Tanner McKee.
Yeah, again, like I like Tanner, but as like we've seen him for what 4 total games or something.
Yeah,
And like, and look, I get it. He's been great, but Jalen has played unbelievably well in the playoffs and like for the most part, and in the biggest games he's stepped up, right? And played fantastic. So I'm not quite sure I'm ready for that.
Neither am I. I'm just saying, I think there are people in that building.
I would agree, though. I think I get it, and I think Jalen's leadership style isn't for everybody. I think his personality isn't for everybody.
Yeah,
it is what it is. But I really could care less if everyone could just be on the same page and be confident in what the offense is trying to do. I think that's all that matters.
Right.
He's not such an asshole like Carson Wentz or like somebody like that the guys are just going to be like, nope, I'm out on this dude completely.
Right.
I think when this stuff starts to happen, the stuff about his personality and his leadership style starts to bubble up because you have to talk about it. Yeah. But I think if everybody was confident in what the offense was trying to do and they knew like, oh, if like this play, you know what I mean? I don't think there's one play that gets called that guys are like, oh yeah, this is it, guys. They nailed it on this one. We're going to be so open. I bet they haven't had that one time this season.
We did get to see a Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown high five hug.
There you go. Again, another thing that like, we just need you guys to be able to get out there and you don't need to be best friends.
Right. All right. Let's talk about the defense here. I am not here to slander the group. I won't do that. It's a group that played 86 snaps against the Cowboys and 90 snaps against the Bears.
The Bears had the most snaps out of any team that didn't go into overtime.
Yes. Ever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deal well, and I haven't seen a lot of it out there. I've seen some people, they're like, oh, the defense they handed it, and I get it. It was a prolific running day for the Bears. But there's a big part of me that's like, this defense, it was a 10-3 game at halftime. They made enough stops.
Yep.
It was not, they got run all over. They didn't allow points.
Yeah.
And to me, it was a defense that was like, all right, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah, the damn bro.
The offense,
yeah,
the offense has to do something. Right.
Yep.
And they simply can't. They simply cannot do anything.
Mm-hmm.
There are definitely some guys that they're gonna have to make some choices here. Sidney Brown, I'm talking about you.
God,
he is useless.
He just doesn't have it.
No, I disagree. He has much. He has the inability to settle.
Yeah.
Period. He looks like a guy who, what, in the old Madden you would hold, I think it was like the Y button or the X button, it would turn low.
Oh yeah.
He looks like the guy who the button gets stuck. And he has no idea how to slow down.
Yeah.
He's the dude from the Mighty Ducks who doesn't know how to brake on a skate.
Yep.
That's who he is. He's Mendoza.
Yeah.
From Mighty Ducks. And it really hinders them. I mean, he basically injured Andrew Makuba. And by basically, I mean he did. Now, I saw Marcus Epps, his practice window opened today.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance we see him on Monday. I don't think that the Eagles are going to Sidney Brown having to play all the snaps he played. Yeah. I mean, he was bad.
Yeah.
He was bad. I'm not going to get too crazy about Jalen. He's obviously something wise, and he plays 95% of the snaps every, and 85 and 90 snaps. I'm not the best mathematician, but That's a lot of snaps in the span of 5 days.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get too crazy with him. I think I'm really confused about why Jod Campbell is not out there.
Yeah. Yep. I agree with that.
I don't know how we went from this kid who wasn't overmatched at all to him not be. I know Nakobe Dean's playing at a high level, but the other day, your defense is getting absolute whack in the run game. Why not let the kid sniff the field and see what he does?
Yeah.
Like, just see what he does. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But nothing else is working.
Yep.
So what? I didn't quite understand that. I don't disagree with I did take a little bit of umbrage with that.
That's a weird one, and I'm not sure if it's like, I don't know what it is, but nobody had a good day. Nobody had a good day against Chicago.
Overall, I'm not worried about the defense.
I think you said it perfectly. I think when you're playing that much, like, it's gonna break. Something's gonna break eventually.
Yeah.
When your offense can't have any time of possession or any sustained drives, even if they don't score points, just to give you guys a breather and have you be off the field for more than 4 minutes, you know, in between drives. It's just, and again, they're not a number one defense like they were. So they have some flaws, and eventually this is going to happen. Like, it's going to happen. And if it continues to happen, I think we'll have a bigger conversation. I think this was inevitable with the way the offense was going. It was either like, it was going to be against somebody, and it just happened to be the Bears that really took advantage of it.
Yeah. Monday's going to be a really, it's going to be a telling night for this team.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to go one of two directions. I feel like if they lose a third, it's going to go downhill really fast.
Yep.
If they find a way to win and they can show some offense, it can't be another game that.
Yeah.
But if they can show any sort of offense in this game, then I feel pretty good moving. I feel pretty good moving forward. I do want to just the upcoming schedule for the Cowboys in comparison to the Eagles, because the Cowboys they've put themselves back in the conversation. So they play on the road against the Lions on Thursday night. So the Eagles will already know what the Cowboys have done when they take the field on Monday. So that'll be it'll be nice if the Lions could figure it out. The Lions are up against it right now.
Yeah.
They're playing for their playoff lives. This is a huge NFC match.
Yeah.
Because they're basically neck and neck. The race. Dallas is 6-5-1 and 5. So they can put a little distance between them and the Cowboys. The Cowboys then have they have the Vikings at home, which should be an auto win for them.
Yep.
I don't think McCarthy's going to be healthy. They're going to face that.
Yeah.
Whatever that guy's name is. What a disaster he is. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Tough.
And then the Chargers come in. So, the Chargers will be playing, for the playoffs as well. They're 8-4. Hopefully they'll be 8-5 or 9-5, whatever they have. And then they end with the Commanders.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's not a murderer's row.
No, but you know what? The Eagles are also in a spot.
Yes.
That they have 5 games left. They have the Chargers this week, so a win this week would be enormous, especially coupled with a Dallas loss. You pick up 2 games right there, in your magic number, and then you get the Raiders. Off
who
of
are
that,
just abysmal.
They're terrible, and then you get the Commanders.
Yeah.
Who are also
not good.
I mean, they're playing better. And Jaden Daniels might be back, so that's not going to be easy by any stretch. And they're going to be trying to play spoil. So, and then you gotta go to Buffalo.
Yeah, that's
and
the tough one.
With the Commanders. So any combination of from the Cowboys and Eagles plays into the division.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point, your goal is win the division. Worry about the seed.
Yeah.
After that, they had every chance to put a stranglehold on it.
Yep.
in Dallas.
Sure
and
did.
choked it away. So now they're playing a little bit of catch up. We'll see what happens. I don't think that I have anything else to add with the Eagles. Anything from you?
I think we just have to see something. We have to see some effort that's been made to change something.
Mm-hmm.
We have to. Like, again, smarter people than us review all the film, all the tape from all the weeks, everything. And they'll be able to tell pretty easily if something's different, you know?
Yeah.
And if it just continues to be the same, then I have no answers. And I don't anticipate Howie and Jeffrey Lurie being happy about that, for or tolerating that pretty much outside of this next week. Like, I think they reached the point and they're not going to overreact, because that's not what they do. And Lurie never wants to be seen as a guy who like flies off the handle. You know, there's enough owners who do that, and he is not a guy with that reputation.
No.
And I highly doubt that he wants to be seen that way. But this might be the 1 week of leeway that the people in that building have. And if it just looks the same, I wouldn't be surprised by anything that comes after that, quite honestly.
That is my key as well, is that we just got to see change.
Yeah.
Like, it cannot be the same stagnant. And whether it's scheme or maybe there's a play calling change we're not aware of that they just aren't announcing, whatever it is, we got to see something different that leads us to believe they're taking this seriously and they're not making a mockery of, because that's what it feels like. Like, we are a very smart fan base, and we are not happy with I was getting very annoyed with the broadcast the other night when they were criticizing the fans for, what are we supposed to do?
Oh my God, yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
What are we supposed to do? Are we just everybody's happy that they're terrible?
Yeah.
That's fine. But give me a break.
All
right, they're 2.5 point favorites. The total is set at 40.5. I do have a win. I don't think it's going to be like some dominant, blowout type of win. I've got it 21-17.
Yeah, I have I'm going to go 24-20.
Yeah, that sounds about right. This is different for us. I have the under and you have the over.
That is very different for us.
Yeah, that's very different. I do have a real quick fixated, and I just want to say it briefly here. I feel like it's important because this is something that I you know how I feel about the Hall of Fame every year. Obviously, let's go Chase, let's go Jimmy, but let's have a real conversation about Cole. Great tweet from John Foley today. If Cole Hamels were already in the Hall of Fame, here's where he would rank among the 70 Hall of Famers with at least 200 starts. ERA plus, 30th. Strikeouts, 23rd. WHIP, 33rd. B-WAR, 49th. Ks per 9, 5th. Walks per 9, 46th. Hits per 9, 23rd. He's right there. Like, he's in the middle to, like, the top half in everything. I'm a huge advocate for Jimmy, a huge advocate for Chase. I'm going to be a huge advocate for Cole Hamels. He deserves to be in. All three of them do, in some way, shape, or form. I don't know that Cole's longevity is enough to get him in, but he's a dude who fits the mold of the modern era pitcher. I'm hoping that he lasts on the ballot. I don't know that he will.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that he does. Love you, Cole.
Amen.
If you want to come on the show.
Hey, please.
We would love to have you. Regz' kid is named after you, so.
We don't have to talk about that.
I just love saying it.
I know.
I just love it. I love it. All right, man. Anything else for people?
No. Please, God, Eagles. Just do something. Please.
It's like you're poking the thing that
save our sanity.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, hey, listen, we're so grateful for you listening to us. We are excited to be back with you. We'll probably come back next week. This is our show for We wanted to get something up because it's been a minute. So we'll be back next week to recap. Hopefully, if something happens with the Phillies,
I was about to say
we will
yes.
jump on.
Yes.
If something happens with the Phillies that is like actual meaning, we will come on. Otherwise, in the meantime, wherever you get your podcast, click subscribe here on the YouTube channel. Go to your social drop 5 at Big Regz with it. Head on over to Instagram, Phixated Podcast. No, at the Phixated Pod on Instagram, at the Phixated Podcast on TikTok, and then of course that might be the other way. Just figure it out, and then Facebook, and head on or check the merchandise link in the show description below. We'll see you next week. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. We love you for listening. Eagles, do something. Wake up.
Thank you, everybody.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.